7.
Good morning, everyone. 7:31 on this Monday. We are happy, and we sure hope that you are smiling today.
Even on a Monday. How about that?
Why not? Positive energy, Zach.
What happens during commercial breaks? That should be a different show. On
Can we talk about this a little bit? You said your mom saw a mountain lion.
Yes.
And we just, for some reason,
That's
thought that was riotously funny.
I'm like, there's a problem with mountain lions out in the country.
Is that for real? Did she
For
really
real.
see?
She's trying to get your attention.
Yeah. Thank goodness
Hey,
she was
guess
in the
what I
car.
saw?
Thank goodness she was in the car.
Yes.
You know?
She can drive faster
Yeah.
than a mountain lion, even an aggressive.
Maybe. I don't know.
The mountain lion even stared her down.
Just keep
Eerie
going.
feeling. Yes.
Mrs. Shields, we're glad you're okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Mom, for hanging in there. Appreciate it. Hey, we saw something weird in our sky. No, not mountain lions, but some raindrops. How about that?
That would be.
Yeah, first time in about a month. The line of rain started in the hill country last evening, then it broke apart, so we didn't see a whole lot of rain here in Austin. Then it intensified just to our east. Some spots in Bastrop, Lehigh counties picked up ½ inch to 1 inch of rain. The strongest thunderstorm now is south of San Antonio. This front's going to push most of the rain off to our east. A few lingering sprinkles this morning. That's about it for the rest of the day. More clouds and sun. And there's going to be a coolness to the air. It's not super cold behind the first front, 50s and 60s. So driving into work, not a whole lot of rain. Driving home, still not a whole lot of rain. Lots of clouds, though. Highs right around 68 degrees. The second front comes into play tonight. That's when the rain and storm chances really increase. And then winter makes a big comeback for the rest of the week. I'll have all the details for you. We'll time out when these waves of rain will move on in, how much rain we're expecting coming up very shortly. Right now, let's send it out to Randy Taylor. Ladies and traffic.
Well, I have somewhat good news. Our overturned vehicle that we had on Palmer Lane at 35 has cleared, but we are seeing lots of congestion out of South Austin. You can see here at 35 near 51st Street. It is a wall to wall, and those drivers do seem to be hitting their brakes there right after the curve. Now, lots of congestion, like I said, out of South Austin, and if you typically head northbound on 35, your right lane is closed between 7th and 15th Street due to a rollover at 8th Street and an accident and fuel spill at 15th. Not sure if these two are related incidents, but go ahead and use 183 or the 130 toll as your alternate route. You are going to want to avoid taking northbound Mopac because our rush hour delays are heavier than normal between William Cannon and Enfield. That's due to that northbound Mopac road construction that has this reduced to 2 lanes between Lake Austin Boulevard and Enfield Road. I'm Randy Taylor, Fox 7 Traffic.
After Saturday's primary in South Carolina and the caucus in Nevada, presidential candidates are now focusing their eyes on Texas. Super Tuesday is coming up next week. The Lone Star State could really be make or break for some of the campaigns. Fox 7's Nick Spinetto is live in East Austin with more. Morning, Nick.
Hi, good morning to you, Dave. And with Texas having more than 400 delegates up for grabs between the Republican and Democratic Party, a lot of candidates are really going the distance this week to get your vote. Right now, early voting does continue, and the Texas primary is next Tuesday. On the Democratic side, President Bill Clinton will speak today at Paul Quinn College in Dallas, encouraging supporters to vote for his wife. Hillary Clinton spoke to thousands of supporters at the Texas Southern University over the weekend. No word yet, though, on whether Bernie Sanders plans to make an appearance here in the Lone Star State. As for the Republicans, Senator Ted Cruz appears to be in a tight race with Donald Trump. According to RealClearPolitics.com, Cruz has about a 7% lead over Trump. Cruz's wife Heidi is making a few appearances in Southeast Texas on behalf of her husband. No word yet on whether any other GOP candidates plan to appear in Texas this week.
2016 is a very important election year. Everybody's vote counts, and we're the ones who tell them who we want to be our leaders for the next 2 to 4 years. People don't realize that their vote does make a big difference, a very big difference. It can make the difference in a candidate or an issue, and they need to have their words heard.
Now, the Texas primary is next Tuesday. Meantime, until then, early voting continues until Friday. So far here in Travis County, a little more than 21,000 voters have cast their ballots in early voting. That's a little more than 3% of registered voters here in Travis County. Dave, back to you.
All right, Nick, thank you very much. Firefighters from Austin, San Antonio, and the Rio Grande Valley spent the past week training for a situation that fortunately hasn't happened yet in Austin. If it were to happen, the departments would be ready to act. Fox 7's Marcus Officer has the story.
Over a dozen special operation firefighters spent their Saturday in a disaster zone, trying to save lives.
They've been given a task, a scenario in this parking garage or residential prop,
The objective? Rescue 2 victims from inside this concrete structure, while also
putting shoring up on the exterior of the prop. They will breach the prop to make their way in. Then they will shore the interior of the prop, make access to the victim, and then package the victim and bring the victim out.
The drill simulates one of the most unpredictable situations a firefighter can face in the field: a collapsed structure.
It's very dangerous because you're dealing with structures that have been compromised that we don't know a lot of times to what extent. So it's somewhat of a game as far as trying to make the best of a bad situation.
A situation the Austin, San Antonio, and Rio Grande Valley fire departments have spent the past week training for.
We regionally are training together so that when we have an event and we all have to come together to mitigate a disaster site, we've practiced together, we have those relationships built ahead of time.
So if a disaster does strike, Fire Chief Rhoda May Kerr says the units will know what to do and how to do it together.
When we have a large disaster, you're going to have to collaborate and work together. So we don't want it to ever happen, but it can happen, and it probably will happen. And so we want to be prepared.
Reporting in East Austin, Marcus Officer, Fox 7 News.
Getting around Wimberley will be a little easier starting this weekend thanks to a new bridge. Nearly 9 months have passed since the devastating Memorial Day weekend floods hit Hays County. Last May's storm destroyed the Fisher Store Road Bridge near Wimberley after a large wall of water hit it. The bridge was a big route for the town since the flooding. People who've used that bridge have been using a detour that took them out of their way by about 40 to 50 miles. Now, construction on the replacement bridge is just about done, 3 months ahead of time. To celebrate the bridge reopening, there's going to be a public ribbon cutting ceremony on Saturday morning. It'll be at the intersection of Fisher Store Road and Stone Canyon at 10 o'clock. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is expected to attend. The bridge will be open to traffic after the ceremony.
Well, as the presidential race continues to lose candidates, the ones who are still in the running are trying to make sure they stand out from the crowd. We're talking to Fox's Brett Baer about all that when we come back.